Alright, good evening everybody. Welcome to the webinar here on momentum trading. We're going to get started now. As long as the sound's okay, I'm talking. If you can't hear me, obviously, then you obviously won't be hearing me. But I just want to do one more sound check, and that will be great. Cherise and Mita, sound check would be good from anybody that's in the. Thank you, that's perfect, just what I need. Yep, if you do have any sound issues, just log out and log back in. We'll get started. It will be recorded, this webinar, and will be put on binary.com archive of recordings. Okay, so welcome to the webinar. My name is Lee Sanford. I'm going to be presenting for the next hour on trading the markets. When I was invited to do this webinar, I was wondering what to talk about and what to go through, and so this is the first time I've actually done a webinar for binary.com. I do lots of webinars, lots of teaching, lots of education, lots of trading. So to do this for you guys today, the first time, I was wondering what type of audience I have got in the webinar this evening. So if you wouldn't mind, just give me a little feedback regarding your own trading. Are you new traders? Are you experienced traders? Are you intermediate traders? Just type in the little chat box sort of what sort of level traders you're at, and that would be a good idea. That would give me a good idea to sort of where to sort of new traders. Okay, we've got some people that are new, which is great. It's fine. We've got intermediate traders. Also, you know, are you making consistent profits trading the markets? That would be a nice thing to give me a heads up on. That would be good. So yeah, if you've got any new traders, okay, there's quite a few new traders, which is always good. All right, that's fine, perfectly fine. All right, let's get. I've got a good idea what the sort of level is. 3 months. That's great. It's good to see all that feedback. All right, as I said, my name's Lee Sanford. I'm the author of a Amazon best-selling book called Goals to Gold. That went published that in March, and that has been a book that's done very, very well on Amazon as well. And also, just a little else about myself, I was in Traders Magazine, which is the global publication magazine for traders. So you can get that from our website completely free if you go to tradingcollege.co.uk. I'll type in the actual email address there. I've just put that in the chat box. If you want a Traders Magazine complimentary, then just opt into that on our website, and we'd be able to get a free magazine over to you. Yeah, so I was featured in that magazine in June. I've been trading the markets. This is the first time I've been doing the webinar for BOM, so I'm sort of new to sort of you guys, I suppose. But I've been trading the markets sort of 24 years now, and I've been doing it full time. My own trading account, trading my own money for 12 years. And the first when I went full time as a trader, making a living from this 12 years ago, the first 18 months when I sort of started doing this and trying to earn an income, you know, I struggled to make money the first 18 months. And after 18 months, I realized I was making all the same mistakes that every single trader goes through when they learn to trade the markets. Okay, when you're new to trading, you tend to get things round the wrong way. And that's exactly what I went through in the first 18 months. And then, you know, getting on just over 10 years ago, it really did start to change for me, where I started to consistently make money. And I'll show you sort of some things tonight on what things you should avoid and market and identify momentum trades, and when the main thing is when not to trade the market as well. When the markets are doing certain patterns, it's good to keep away from trading. But you know, when the markets are nice and lively, you know, you can get some very good returns indeed. All right, but you know, when you're trading binaries, the great thing about binaries is that there's so many different types of bets you can do, so many different types of trades you can do in any market environment. And of course, one of them is momentum trading. You can place certain types of trades through binary, and and especially with a momentum sort of trade, they're great. You're getting profit very quickly. They expire pretty quickly, and you can make some very good money indeed. But before I went full-time trading, I was a professional football player, and I know we've got people from all over the world here. So professional soccer player. I was a professional sportsman, and there's lots of similarities. That's me when I was a lot younger, with hair and much slimmer. And there are lots of similarities between sort of being a professional sportsman and a professional trader, and that is, a lot of it's discipline, a lot of it's about a good attitude, a lot of it's about being resilient and not worrying about if you have a losing trade, picking yourself up and brushing yourself down and getting on with trading, okay, and learning how to do it properly. I think the biggest advice I could give anybody, especially the newbies that are in the room, is take your time, get educated, learn from professional traders how to make money, and when you learn the right way, then you've got every chance to go and make money for the rest of your life. It's not a one-week wonder. Once you learn the right way, then you've got those skills forever, and especially in your retirement, you can trade the markets and generate nice income while you're sitting at home and while everyone's off to work every day. So get the education, make sure that you learn the right way, and take your time when you're trading. And so the biggest advice I think I could give anybody is learn a good strategy, but get good at implementing that strategy, okay? Just follow the process of a strategy. Find a trading strategy that's good, that's making consistent profits, and then just trade it. Just continually do the same thing every time that strategy shows itself. Then you bolt on some money management, okay, which means that you're just going to risk a small amount of your account on each trade, and depending on your account size, but we're looking at things like risk on each trade. We're looking at things like 3%, guys, okay, per trade. So risk, I teach people to risk no more than 3% on each trade. The reason is because trading is about a series of trades. So let's say this is your pool of trades, okay? This is the trades you're going to take in this is the basket of trades, and you may have, these are winning trades, these ticks, and you may have a series of losing trades in here, okay? But don't live off the last trade. Don't let the last trade affect you, because out of a series, excuse my drawing here, pretty poor drawing, but out of a series of trades, then you should be net profitable. What I'm saying is that if you are risking, let me draw that again, if you're risking on trades, if you're risking like 10%, 20, 50%, and some people do, then all these lovely winning trades are going to get taken away by that big losing trade, okay? So just start small, 3% risks maximum on each trade, and take your time while you're learning to trade, especially you newbies that are out there this evening on this webinar. Take your time, because it's a never-ending buffet, as I say. The markets will always be there. You got to realize, will you and your account be there? Okay, will your trading account be there? Because the last thing I want to see is people going away and losing money. So in 2009, we decided to start a trading company called tradingcollege.co.uk, and here's our website, and you can opt into any of the free videos at www.tradingcollege.co.uk and see what we're all about, okay? And so we teach people to trade the markets. I also trade live. I also trade the markets live every week in front of people, like this webinar, where I put live trades on with real money, with my real trading accounts, and there's no demo trading when I'm trading live, and so I'm doing this every week. All right, so there's me doing a bit of teaching. There's me at the London Investors Show last February. There's one of our classes, Forex class down here, and over this side was us with an exhibition stand at the London Investors Show. All right, so a well-established company, well respected, and trade live every single week on webinars in front of our members. All right, that's a little bit about myself. So what I want to talk tonight, I want to show you some stuff, and you know, I could go through a PowerPoint presentation for 50 minutes, and it may be, you know, it's, for me personally, it's learning how to trade shouldn't be done on a PowerPoint presentation. Learning how to trade should be done in real live markets. So after the next few slides, I'm just going to get up my charts that I trade with every day and show you some of the things that go on in my head when I'm trading the markets. Is everybody up for that? If I get my live charts up, what's happening today? Is everybody okay for that? Please say yes or say no. If you want me to just do a PowerPoint presentation, I will do. But if you want me to get my charts up, that may be a much better learning experience for all of you than just doing a PowerPoint presentation. Because at the end of the day, guys, anybody could do a PowerPoint presentation. I could teach anybody to teach you guys to do a PowerPoint presentation, but teaching how to trade is a lot different. All right, so let's talk a little bit about different types of trading. All right, now there's momentum style trading. What is momentum style trading? Well, momentum style trading is going with the trend. Okay, going with a trend. A trend. What is a trend? I'm asking you the question. What is an uptrend? If you, and by the way, we are technical qualified technicians and technical analysis, and we are also members of the Society of Technical Analysis as well. But the question is, and the reason I said that is because in the Society of Technical Analysis journals, how would you describe an uptrend? Okay, an uptrend is described as higher highs and higher lows. All right, this is the first thing you've got to learn when you're trading. So yeah, bullish, the word bullish, uptrend, correct, Sequib, okay? As it goes up, we get a move up, we pull back. This is like where we come back on price. So the price goes up, we pull back. When we pull back here, this is where people are taking profits in an uptrend, or it may be new short sellers. What happens here is that more buyers come in here and the price goes further up. Okay, buyers come in here thinking the price is cheap enough and they'll take a long trade, they'll buy. And then we get another pullback, we get the buyers down here taking profits up here. We get new people shorting the market up here, but then we get new buyers coming in the market. So in basic terms, that is an uptrend. Okay, we get higher highs and higher lows in a market wave pattern. And a downtrend, you know, we're making lower highs. Okay, so this is coming down and lower lows all the way down. All right, so as we come down, we make lower lows and lower highs. And the easiest way to make money in trading, okay, write this down. A bearish trend, that's right. So the easiest, you must write this down. The easiest way to make money in trading, okay, and by the way, guys, this is something I do every day when I'm trading, and this was the big mistakes I made sort of 12 years ago, is trying to trade against the trend all the time. Now, I do trade against trends and momentum trades at times, okay, but the easiest way to make money trading is with a trend. Okay, the easiest way is to make money with a trend. Okay, and I've never met consistently profitable counter trend traders. What is a counter trend? A counter trend trader is somebody that's shorting something that is going full force in the direction, in this case going up. All right, I've never met consistently profitable traders, and I've met against the trend, and I've met thousands of traders, guys, people that have never traded before to experienced traders, and I've never met a consistently counter trend trader. There are trades that you can take. I took a counter trend trade today in the FTSE 100 live in the room, in the trading room, and it made some nice profits, but there was a specific reason why I took it. So while you're learning, learn to trade with momentum, learn to trade with the trend. Okay, doesn't mean you can't make money with certain trades. Now, reversion to the mean, this is what I want to get on tonight, but reversion to the mean. What is reversion to the mean? Well, prices on a chart, so let's say you're trading the Forex market, the pound versus the United States dollar or the euro dollar. Price doesn't start, let's say we're doing it on a 15-minute chart. We don't normally see price go all the way up on a candlestick and keep going and keep going and keep going off the slide here. Very rarely do we see a price, well, I've never seen a price that continues to go all the way up without any type of pullback or also a reversion to the mean. And as price goes up, it reverts back to the mean price. This is the mean or average price over a certain period of days. Price goes up and reverts back to the mean. Price goes up and reverts back to the mean here. And so this is a wave pattern. Also, you probably heard it as well, guys, called Elliott wave. Yeah. And if you can understand just Elliott wave and what ends a wave pattern, then you've really got a good chance of making money in the markets. All right, and we'll look at that when we get the live charts up. Now, also here, volatility reversals. What are volatility reversals? And this is one of my strategies I use called Archimedes. And this is, we're trying to find big volatile moves, and we're looking to see if it's time for those to reverse. But that's a quite advanced strategy. We're not going to go too much into that this evening, but these are different types of trades in general. Reversion to the mean, momentum style trading, and volatility breakouts and things like that. But we're going to concentrate on reversion and momentum trading tonight. So let's take a look quickly at a sort of a chart here. You see it as the momentum pushes higher, we get the reversion to the mean. Momentum pushes higher, we get the reversion to the mean. Momentum pushes higher, we get the reversion to the mean. Now, we've been teaching for 4 days. We just finished day 3 of the live trading course here. And the first day, the question I asked new traders is, you know, it's easy to trade when you can see the future, but unfortunately, we can't see the future of what's going to happen next. But I asked people, as I started to draw this diagram, I asked the guys and girls in the class here today, on Tuesday, I beg your pardon, where would you buy and take a trade on the euro dollar or the pound dollar in this trend? And they couldn't see what was going to happen here. They didn't know the price was going to get up here. But as I started drawing it on my board, they said now, and they said they will buy here. And then I carried on drawing another line up, and they said now, and they were buying it all the way up here, these areas. Okay, they started buying as the price was going up, okay, in an uptrend. And let me tell you now, okay, that is the wrong place to buy something when it's in an uptrend. All right, the Forex market is a very predictable market. If you can get it right and know when to buy, then you've got really good opportunities to go and make some money, and the returns in the binary will be much greater. All right, because obviously the broker's not expecting it to get there. And what I mean by that is, if you identify a trend or a momentum break to the upside, the last place I want to buy something is when it's going up. I want to buy it when it reverts back to the mean here. And as it reverts back to the mean here, okay, I go in then to my binary.com brokerage and I start to look at bets that are going to be above here. One touches up here. Okay, because what I'm expecting, if I get it right, if my indicators, and we'll look at the indicators soon, but if I get the actual setup and entry right, I know that there's a really good chance price will bounce and go up here. Now, if I'm picking up the trade down here, then my returns are going to be 80s and 100% returns. because the price is falling, so the binary is decreasing in value, getting cheaper, and so that's the best place to pick it up. Not when it's going up. Not when it's going up, because it's already over. The move is already over in a way. It could go up, it could continue to the upside, but from a professional trader's point of view, I'm looking to find a trend, which is number one, and then I'm looking for reversion to the mean to buy it. Alright? Good stuff. And so that's what I'm looking for. Alright, so that's what I'm looking for. So let's go and have a look at today's charts, and I'll just pause this so I can get the charts up. So this is my charts here, but if you can hear some alarms going off in the background, guys, then it's just I've got alarms going off with trades. The stock market is coming under major pressure today. We've had an incident out in Ukraine, so we're starting to see markets selling off. All right, we just had some news out today. Good question, Max. Does it apply? It applies not only in Forex but in every market. Any market that's got a price, any market that trades. So at the end of the day, all we're doing is trading against other human beings. All right, there's lots of black boxes out there in high frequency trading, but all we're doing is trading against other human beings. All right, and when people come, when you're new to trading, a lot of traders tend to flood into the Forex market, and this is where you know, you can make some really nice money. So what I'm showing you here is my chart of the British pound. Let's change that pen. It's the British pound versus the United States dollar, and it's on a 15-minute time frame. So each one of these candlesticks here is on 15 minutes. All right, these are called candlesticks. Now, this morning in the British pound on a 15-minute chart, the price went from 171.40 all the way down here today to 170.95, and we'll look at bigger time frames in 1 second. But the thing is, you know, we don't know that the price is going to go from 170.140 down to 170.71 area here. It's okay looking at the future. We can see it's easy trading the future. But what I like to use a simple indicator called a MACD down here. I also like to use, which is my oscillator indicator down here. And this indicator down here, this is telling me whether the price is overbought or oversold in this time frame. So if this snake-like looking indicator is above this line, this top green line, that means the price is overbought. If it's below this line here, it means it's oversold. Alright, do you know what that means? Oversold means the price could go back up. Overbought means the price could go back down. Alright, so just here, just after this time frame here, the price was oversold and it's starting to go back up. Here it was overbought, okay, and the price starting to come back down. So what I do when I'm teaching and when I'm trading, I want to identify a trend. Remember, it's easy to trade with a trend. Identify a trend. You told me the trend is higher lows, lower highs, lower lows to downside. And you know, you see a lot of momentum. Now another way, okay, another way to actually identify a trend, if there's a very good chance of a trend trade, is by the moving averages. I use the 8 period moving average, the 20, which is the white line, the 50 moving average, and the 200 moving average. Right, so I use pretty basic moving averages, and they're all exponential moving averages. So let's say this is a downtrend. As price comes down here, it's coming down on this chart. Now I never buy the lows of a move, which means I never do anything down at the lows like this. What I like to do, I wait for the price to go back up. Okay, I like to wait to see the price go up. When it goes back up, okay, then I'm looking to take a short trade. Okay, when it goes back up, I like to take a short trade in a downtrend. Now look at the angle of the moving averages. these moving averages are like this. The angle is coming down. It's really steep. These angles are really steep. When the moving average angles are really steep, that's telling me there is lots of potential for a really big profitable trade. Alright, so when I get the angles of the moving averages like this, then I'm waiting for the price to go back up on this chart. This is the pound versus the United States dollar. As it goes back up here, it feels really uncomfortable. So what happens when it goes back up here is that then your binaries become cheaper down here. So your one-touch binaries become, you get better returns down here. Alright. So as the price goes back up in a downtrend, binary one-touches get really good returns down here. And so you can go into your brokerage and look for really cheap, consistently profitable trades. Now the opposite to that is when the price is coming down quickly, a one touch here or a one touch here, you're going to get not a very good return on the trade because it's close to actually touching that area anyway. Right, so you're not going to get a good return because it's obvious it's going to happen. You know, binary.com will price it that returns not the greatest there because it's the likelihood of it's going to, they're not stupid, you know, the likelihood of it's coming true are very, very high. But look, a little way of doing this is if it goes back up in a trend to the downside, that's when you look for the bet to be down here or to close below here. All right. Yeah, that's a good point. So yeah, so I'm actually shorting something in a downtrend. So number one, establish a downtrend or establish a trend. You've already told me uptrends, higher lows, higher highs. Downtrend, lower lows, lower highs. And in a downtrend, look, we're making lower lows as we come down. All right. So any questions on that? All right. So it doesn't matter, Saqib, if this is the FTSE 100, whether it's the pound versus the dollar, whether it's the euro, whether it's the DAX, whether it's gold, whether it's oil. Let's take a look at gold because that's gone crazy today. All right. Look at gold. This is gold prices in here. And I'll just refresh this chart. Right, we've got gold prices here. So remember I said the angles of moving averages is the best time to take momentum trade. So the angles. When we see the angles of these moving averages sideways, like that, that means there is no... Nice one, Max. Good trade. Well done. Let me know what the trade is. Type it in. Max said he did a winning trade on gold today. Brilliant. So when you see the move, look at this. Gold here today. The moving averages are sideways. That's a really dangerous place to be. But when the moving averages are sideways, you may want to go into your broker and do some bets that the price stays in between or closes in between a certain place here. Okay, you may want to do that. So those moving averages actually help you to tell you that price could stay in between. Look at the moving average, the angles of them here. Look at the angles of them. They're going sideways, aren't they? Yep, these angles of these moving averages are sideways. Look at the angle of the moving averages here on the when it explodes higher today on gold. Look at the angle. They're going like this. And they're going like that. That tells you that we're getting a nice momentum push, nice trend higher, and that any reversions back to the mean are buying opportunities. Okay. Are places to look for a trade. So my little indicator down here tells me when it's oversold, there, that there's a buying opportunity right here. And so I go and look for one touch, I go and look for trades that are going to close above. Let's go and have a look on a daily time frame. I'll bring my daily time frame down here. This is just my other chart package. You don't need all these flashy indicators and all these super duper charts, guys. You really don't. It's just that the likes of myself that's been doing this for quite a while, boys and their toys, tend to like to have as many screens as possible. Okay, all right, so look at this. This is the British pound on a weekly time frame here. Okay, so weekly binary bets. You're looking for bets that are going to close in a couple of weeks time. All right, yeah, agree on that, Max, but we'll do the Q&A at the end when it comes to just general questions, all right, with charts and things like that. We'll get through this. We'll get through this first, and then we'll do some teaching first. No, don't say sorry. Not a problem. Let's get some education, and then we'll do some general questions at the end if anyone's got them. All right. So here on the weekly time frame. All right. So look at this. I did several trades in the British pound in binary.com here. And all of them successful, including the Aussie dollar. I did some good ones as well. And these are my indicators on my charts. I've got this momentum indicator down here. I've got a MACD. I've got this one, and this is my pro trading system I've got here. You can see I've got a lovely. It's an indicator that tells me when the reversion to the mean happens. So when it's yellow in an uptrend, you might not be able to see it, but it's actually turned yellow here, and there's two yellows there. Look at the angles of the moving averages. They're pointing up, aren't they? Those angles are great. So I know I'm in an uptrend because this white line is the 20 period EMA. I know when its price is above that, I know then that I'm in an uptrend. And as long as the price stays above that 20 EMA, I'm going up in price. So this is a trend because I'm making higher lows. There's a higher low. Every time the price pulls back, we make a higher low. And so as we get a move to the upside here and price goes up, I don't buy up here. I don't do a binary that's going to go higher here because my return on the trade is going to be really bad. I don't really take anything less than 20% return on trades, guys. If I can get 20% above, then that's fine. Anything with a trade that's less than 20%, I tend to ignore. But as the price goes up here, okay, and as it falls and turns yellow, as it's coming down here, I open my broker, and I'm looking for trades to close up here, or to touch up here, or to be above up there. All right, and then I get much better returns. And then I can sleep at night, no problem at all, knowing that this is going to close in the money, and there's a really high probability that this is going to close in the money. So as it's coming down in an uptrend, this is a weekly time frame, I then look for trades that are going to finish up here, or be above here, or a higher and lower one. You can do a rise and fall, which will give you a I like to do a rise and fall sometimes because I know that it's going to bounce and go back up. I get bigger returns on the rise and fall. All right, good stuff. Now look at this phase in the marketplace. Look at this from here to here. There's some lovely trends to the upside. Look at that lovely angle of the moving average. Now let's take that off, and now let's look at the British pound in this phase. Tell me now, what are the moving averages doing? Are they angled nicely like this, or are they going sideways, Max and guys and girls? Are they going sideways? Sideways, yep, correct. They're going sideways. So I'm not really going to do, yeah, exactly. I'm not going to do the same trade over here that I'm going to do when the moving averages are sideways, because I've already said to you, when the moving averages are sideways, price tends to go like this, chops in a sideways range. So when they're sideways like this, I then look for things that are in between type of bets. Okay, I do sort of in between type bets, and I'm not really looking for momentum trades too much. And until we break and go on a trend, really, that, you know, I'm just looking for different types of trades. Let's look at the USD Japanese yen. Look at the yen, USD yen here. Just bring this, scale it a little bit. Looking at a weekly time frame. If you look at this now, and when if you'll see here, it's turned white. This is a weekly time frame. It's turned white here. This is just telling me on my pro trading system that the markets are sideways. All right, so I don't trade this. So what I would do with this type of, when it turns white on my pro trading system, what I would do is do inside, stay inside bets. Now if it started breaking down on the yen and started doing reversion to the mean, I would then look for closes below bets, rise and fall bets, volatility bets, basically touch bets. But when the moving averages are sideways, I will tend to look for stay inside bets as well. Alright, okay, so let's take a look at that on the daily time frame. You see here on the daily on the USD yen, you see here, look at the moving averages, guys. We've got a symmetrical triangle which I've drawn. I know, there's all sorts of terms, isn't there? Yeah. If somebody listens in to me, Matt, or any of us talking about trading the markets, some of the terms that we say, like double bottoms and, you know, rounded bottoms and symmetry and symmetrical triangles, people think that us traders are a bunch of weirdos, wouldn't they? You know, so we're a community in ourselves, guys, aren't we? Us traders. You got to love doing this. You really have got to love doing this, and you know, if you love doing this, then you know you can make some really nice profits. And so look, I've drawn a symmetrical triangle here. I've drawn a symmetrical triangle, and what I've seen here, look at the moving averages. They're going sideways, and so I'm not really looking for directional go with trades that are sort of momentum based, because they're sideways. Now that's a different ball game when you look at this over here. Alright, the angles really do kick off over this environment over here on the daily. And you can see we have price goes up, pulls back. When it pulls back there, and I'm looking at my charts, that's what I'm looking for, bets to close above the white line and bets to be up here. One touch bets up here. Here's another one, it turns yellow. I just put an order here to be above, and it keeps on ringing the cash register every time I place those trades. Every single time. You could even get the trade, the price could go against you a little bit even further down, but if you're doing higher or lowers around here still on a binary, then it could still go against you down here a little bit, but you've still got that chance it's going to close above, higher than your strike price, okay, on the binary. Alright, so two things. Angles of moving averages. If the angle of a moving average is steep, like this here, then I look for higher and lower bets and one touch bets. If the moving averages are really sideways like this, snaking sideways, I then look for stay inside bets. Alright, which are really, I'm selling volatility basically. I sell volatility because I'm selling it. It's going inside of a range. Any questions at all? Good time to take some questions. This webinar is flying by with time. Any questions at all, guys? Anything? What time frames do I trade from? I trade from any time frame, so I will trade on a monthly chart, weekly chart, daily chart. I will look for strategies and setups all the time. You know, I trade when I day trade the market in the webinar, in the live webinar every week. I'm then using smaller time frames like 4 hour, 60, 15 and 5. Okay, and I do sort of day trades. Alright, now when I'm swing trading means I'm looking for trades that are going to last at least, you know, expiry a day to 3 months. I look for expiry dates for a day for 3 months. Alright, and they're the ones that are just nice and relaxing. You can sit back and every month bring in some profits, because you know you don't have to do much. And that's the great thing about binaries, is that you know, you set and forget, really. And I think binaries are great for beginners, especially because you don't have to deal with a stop loss order. You don't have to deal with being stopped out of a trade only for it to go in your direction in the first place. You know, with a binary, it's pretty much set at you know, you're set on the trade. You place your trade. It's a fixed odds trade. You place your trade, and it either closes in the money or it closes out of the money. All right, so I think they're great for people that I think they're great while you're learning to trade, because the parameters are really controlled and you can't lose more than you've placed on the, or than you've risked on the trade. Okay, so you know, just bear in mind, you know, everything's got risk, and while we're trading these lovely markets, we're always having situations like what's happened today in Ukraine. We're always got potential risk. Alright, so keep your eye on momentum trades and keep your eye on sideways markets. So sideways markets when the actual price. Does anyone want to look at any other markets? Does you want to look at any requests for markets at all this evening, guys, to take a look at? What about the Aussie versus the dollar here on my charts? Alright, so I would look at this Aussie dollar here, and this is on a daily time frame, and you can see that the Aussie dollar, where we're at the moment, we've got moving averages here coming down and moving averages going up. Alright, so I call it crocodile jaws. We get stuck inside. The Aussie dollar here is stuck inside crocodile jaws. Can you see that? The price of today's candlesticks. Can you see the, as I open it up here, can you see the white line which is here coming down? And can you see this is the 50 period EMA coming up? Alright, this is crocodile jaws. We are stuck inside crocodile jaws. We're trapped there. So what that means is I would be looking for bets and trades to stay in between, or close, very much close in between. I like closing in between certain areas like this, in out, but closes in between. Alright, in out bets, but the close in between. So I'll be looking at things like this. There's lots of resistance around here as well, because we're inside these moving averages. Okay, good stuff. Let's have a look at crude oil today. Crude oil here stuck inside moving averages. We'll have a look at natty gas as well. So here's oil, and now we're stuck inside this moving average. Now there's one market I would not do a close inside. In fact, there's two markets that I would not do really a close, be an in and out bet, and to be inside, and that is, one of them is gold and the other one is crude oil. Okay, crude oil would not do stay inside, because these two commodities are very volatile, and they're incredible to trade Good night. Good night, City. Take care. Good night. They're fast movers. They're volatile, and very, very, very volatile indeed. Let's have a look at natural gas. So here's natural. Oh, look at natural gas here, guys. See this? Now we're starting to make lower highs. We're starting to break down on natural gas here. The prices are breaking down, and so now we're sort of trying to get a trend going to the downside. Now I'm not going to short this here. I'm not going to do a momentum trade here. What I want to see this thing do is establish a trend. I want to see this establish a trend, and then what I would do, I'd pick up any pullback, any reversion to the mean, and then what I would do, my binaries would then be nice, good returns for one touches down here. Moving averages will be angled here really nicely, and then I'll be doing higher or lower. In this case, I'll be doing lower bets up here. All right. Okay, good stuff. So at the moment, that for me, coming down really nicely. We're starting to establish a trend after we've been in the sideways market for since February. We've been sort of pretty much sideways. Look at the angles of the moving averages. Look at the angles now. They're starting to establish a right angle. See that? Not a right angle, a 45-degree angle, I could say. And so what happens then when you get those angles is that you're going to get a big move. All right, there's a very high probability you're going to get a big move taking place in the market. Great question. Is it showing oversold? So so it's oversold. So you can see my indicator down here. This indicator, my little snake indicator, it's telling me it's oversold right there, because it's below that line that's right here. So I don't want to start shorting this at all, really, if I'm not already short. I don't want to short it here, because as I said to you at the start of the webinar, price goes down, up, down, up, down, up. And if I short it here, the likelihood of it going up, then have you ever been in a trade, guys, have you ever been in a trade before where you've placed a trade and straight away you're losing money on the trade? Have you ever been in a trade before where you've placed a trade and then as soon as you click that mouse, you're losing money straight away? It's going against you. Forget the spread or anything like that, but it goes against you. Everybody has. Everybody that's traded the market has had that. Okay, nobody in their trading career has ever not had that situation happen. Now the reason is that, you know, it's your entries that are wrong. It's your entries that are wrong on the trade. So trying to chase a market down here is not good, thinking it's going to carry on and go lower, because yep, it may do tomorrow and you may be right, but I'm not in the game of maybes. I'm in the game of making money and high probability trading. So for me, I will be looking for pullbacks, reversion to the mean, to get bigger returns on the trades. Okay, good. Glad that you're learning some stuff. Good stuff, guys. Glad that you're learning. All right. So I like to look at a MACD as well, telling me there's lots of momentum down. I like to look at the moving averages. They're great. And I like to look at it's called the Pro OBS indicator. Overbought and oversold. All right. Good stuff. Okay. Any questions? Any questions coming through? Let's take a look at what other markets should we see? And these are happening now, guys. These are markets that are, you can see on the left hand side, these lights flashing away. These are all my markets that I look at every day, and I look at, and of course I don't trade every single. It does look like that, doesn't it? You've got lots of flashing lights. It just means their trade's going through. I don't trade every single market. I trade a lot of forex, a lot of commodities, a lot of FTSE 100 in the morning, so I'm finished by the morning pretty early. And so, you know, not every market I trade, so I do analysis for different members. So I talk about natural gas, silver, gold and things like that for different types of members that want to look at those markets. But this is called a radar screen on the left hand side, and this is our pro trading system radar screen here at Trading College. This is our flagship indicator, and what these are all the markets here, okay, bonds, forex down here, majors, and this block, it tells me whether the market is in a trend, long trend, or a short trend. So I can open my screens every morning and I can see instantly in my watch list, is the market in a long trend or is it in a short trend? All right, and you can see here, this is an ETF, which means an exchange traded fund of what we call the Russell index, the US stock index, and it's starting to signal today a short trade. And this area here, this block, is telling me the days that it's starting to fire a short trade. So here, if I click on this, it started to show me, let's just get this back up as well, the weekly signal short. Okay, so here on the right hand side, this one here is just showing me now that today we're starting to turn red, which is starting to go into a short trend. Okay, so I can instantly view these markets straight away. Now this area here is my profit and loss on the trade in points. Right, so how many points it's making. If it's green, it's making money. If it's red, it's losing money. These are not the amounts of pounds or dollars or euros I'm making. This is the amount of points I'll be making. This bar thing here is just telling me the amount of days or weeks that it's actually been in a long trend. All right. So if I go and have a look at let's go and have a look at the Dow Jones, which is Wall Street, and look at it on a weekly time frame, because this is what the radar is. I can change the radar to any time frame, whatever I want to, but I've got my weekly, and this tells me this code up here is the Wall Street YM, okay, the Dow Jones Industrial Average futures market, and it tells me 22 weeks it's been in an uptrend, in a long trend, and it's making 1,032 points on the trade. Okay, so it's making 1,032 points on the trade, and you can see here that this, since its last signal, and the signal was just in here to go long, just there. Okay, there was a signal from red to green to go long, right in there, your entry, and it also projects profit targets as well. So these dots are profit targets. So an entry is red to green. When it turns from red to green, that is my entry. And this one's making 1,000 points. You see them you'll see them changing if you look closely in real time. So it's updating in real time. I'll come down here a little bit and look at the forex pairs. Remember, this section here is the P&L section, the profits. The euro versus the dollar has been in a short trend for 10 weeks. It's up 169 pips. All right, 169 pips. The Euro Aussie, if we click on that, here, this is the Euro Aussie coming down. It's been a short trend for 18 weeks. So if you counted these candlesticks, they will say 18. They'll come to 18, and it's up 767 pips. All right, 767 pips. Euro New Zealand's up 800. You see them changing. Look, you see them changing in real time. So they're updating in real time. Pound Swiss franc down here. I'm just randomly looking at these. Pound Swiss franc 580 pips to the upside. Euro yen is now 300 pips profitable to the downside. All right, so the way I trade, is I'm looking for trends and I'm looking for trades to stay inside. Okay, So let's go through some questions. So many queues, so many questions, Max. Okay, that's fine. Long trade or short trade, is that not a trend? Yeah, so it's not necessarily a trend, it's just a signal that the trend's just about to start. Alright, so what I do, I look for a trend, okay, and then I go into my trend. Let's look at gold here. It's been long for 5 days. Let's not look at gold because it's not a good example. I look at a trend. Let's look at Euro Aussie. Okay, so that's that's coming down here. The angles are okay. Now that's becoming a short trend down here. Okay, it's coming down here. So if it started pushing lower, any pullback, I'll be looking for returns on my binary.com. All right, now because it's an established trend, it's in a trend for 18 weeks. Remember what we said at the very start, markets don't go straight up and go straight down, they pull back and revert to the mean. Like on the upside here, you see you get some yellows which are quite nice. Comes back here, you're looking for it to go up. Comes back here, you're looking for it to go up here, here, and this one actually would have been a losing trade. Okay, but all the way up you'd have made winning trades every time it pulled back to the mean. Yeah, so this radar screen. Okay, so this radar screen is just from a chart package that I use in the US. Alright. So do I do any education? Is a question coming? Yeah, if you just log on, if you just go to Trading College website, guys, if you go in here, okay, and go to Trading College website homepage, if you just put free trading videos in here, learn to trade with our weekly videos, you'll hear me talk every other day on videos, and some education in there that you may want to get involved in, and listen to some free stuff. All right, so you can do that. We're also on Facebook down here. You can like us on Facebook. If you're from the UK, we've got a traders coffee morning coming up on the 26th of July. It is normally for members, but anybody that's here on the webinar from binary.com this evening can come, just fill that form out, and you can come along to our traders coffee morning, completely complimentary. Whereabouts is it this year, Tilly? This month? At the Aora. So that is at Heathrow, one of the hotels at Heathrow, terminals 1 and 2. There's a hotel there where we hold our traders monthly coffee morning for members, but you can come along if you would like to. Okay, being part of binary.com.